Well, something we've talked about quite often on Global Business is how the invasion of Ukraine has highlighted the need for Europe to become less reliant on Russian energy. Finnish energy technology company Wärtsilä says European leaders need to invest much more in renewables. Well, Håkan Agnevall is the president and CEO of Wärtsilä and joins us now. Thanks ever so much for coming on the programme. So, how can Europe dramatically cut its annual gas usage without breaking the bank?
Well, we are a technology company, and we all know the challenge of high energy prices right now, and also the need to accelerate the independence for Europe on the energy side. And when we look at the matter as an engineering company, we do ask our engineers to study the power systems of Europe and how they are evolving. And we see a clear opportunity in the renewables, in wind and solar, to now really accelerate the investments, complemented by balancing power to keep the power system stable. And by that, really moving towards 2030 with 60% renewables mix of the overall energy generation in Europe. And by that, reducing Europe's energy cost with more than 300 billion euro. So there are some significant savings opportunities, but we need to accelerate the investments in renewables now.
So spend now, save later. Look, you've modelled two scenarios for Europe's energy transition. So I know you mentioned 2030 there. What's the most realistic time frame here and realistic cost?
Well, I think we need to acknowledge that the shift to renewables and the shift to a lower energy price will take some time. I mean, short-term effects, we're seeing an imbalance between supply and demand. I think that gradually will balance, but then we really have the push to renewables. And this will take time. This will take until 2030 to make the change. But we clearly, the positive message, we can make it. And we see with our engineering skills that the financial equation comes together. But there are a couple of things that we need to put in place. We need to put in place the right regulatory context. Right now, there is a lot of plans for wind and solar that are held back by permitting. So permitting we need to address. We need to create markets for balancing power to create the right incentives. We need to strengthen ties between countries, the power system interconnections. So there are some concrete things we can do that would really accelerate the shift.
So we need to look at regulation. We need countries to talk more to each other. But look, you said it yourself, the Ukraine invasion's really rocked energy prices and supply chain. So how helpful is it really to be talking about net zero goals? I mean, isn't this really about strategic energy security?
Well, I think we need to do two things at the same time. We need to work on the short-term mitigation issues, and that also, there we need to consider the social aspects of higher energy costs, helping groups that really suffer from the high energy prices. But we clearly also need to take a mid to long-term approach, because this is quite frankly the survival of the planet. And I know it's challenging to do two things at the same time, but that is the challenge for all leaders these days.
And it's a big challenge, isn't it? Håkan Agnevall, President and CEO of Wärtsilä. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you.